Hey guys, so I'm here today to film a review and a wear test on the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Hydrating Longwear Foundation. I'm in the shade 150 and I picked up a sample from Sephora because the Sephora VIB sale, like their like summer special sale or whatever, started this week. And I'm trying to decide if I want to pick up the Fenty or the Pat McGrath foundation. So my last video was a review on the Pat McGrath foundation. So if you want to see how that wore, check that video out. Should already be up. This is the Fenty Pro Filt'r foundation. Before I get started, you guys subscribe to my channel. I upload every Tuesday and Thursday, and actually this week I think I'm uploading Wednesday and Friday because sometimes I'm a slacker. But yeah, this is the Fenty Pro Filt'r. Again, I just picked up a sample because I'm not independently wealthy, so this is my foundation. I'm gonna read you the claims here. It is a hydrating longwear foundation that delivers comfortable medium to full coverage in a natural finish, perfect for normal to dry skin. It has 50 shades. It's in a tube. Perfectly smooth, natural looking finish that lets skin look like skin. She created this formula with grapeseed oil and sodium hyaluronate to make a foundation that normal and dry skin types will love. As I mentioned during the try on in this video, I really never liked the original Fenty. It was just too dry for me. It looked kind of cakey after a couple hours. It wasn't made for my skin type, which is fine. So today I will be testing out the Fenty Hydrating Foundation. So now I will insert a clip of me trying it on and we can see how I got here. So just like my Pat McGrath review, your girl got a sample of this foundation. Listen, I am a strong believer in samples. Go to Sephora, get a sample, it's free. Sometimes the girls look at you like you're a bitch because you're getting a sample. I don't fucking care. So I got the Fenty Pro Filt'r Hydrating Foundation in the shade 150. It looks like she wrote 170 on here, but it looks like my color. So with the Fenty foundation, I was never able to find my shade in the original. I was kind of 120 was too light, 150 was too dark, and when that's the case, I generally go too dark because I have white foundation mixers that I can use to lighten. But when a foundation is too light and you have dry skin, it just makes you look drier and cakier, whereas if it's too dark, you can use bronzer to kind of make it work. And again, like I said, I have foundation lighteners, so I picked up the shade 150. Ooh, and she gave me a pretty decent sample in here. So I'm just gonna dot this on my face and use my beauty blender to apply it. Oh, she's thick. Normally, I know lots of people do their foundation reviews like half beauty blender, half brush, but like I literally don't use a brush. So if a foundation doesn't work with a beauty blender, I don't want anything to do with it. And also please ignore my nails. I have to paint them tonight, but I needed to film this video so I can see what to buy at the Sephora sale. So we are just gonna start blending. And truthfully, 150 doesn't look too dark on me. Although I do think that Fenty shades oxidize a bit, but we will see. Okay, that blended out really nicely, and I already like it so much more than the original Fenty. The original Fenty foundation didn't work for me. It was just I'm dry, so I need a hydrating foundation like this is. Oh, and if I didn't mention, I already primed my skin with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer, and I let it kind of get tacky. It's what I tested my Pat McGrath foundation with, and it's just a primer that I know works. I know they launched this with a hydrating primer, so I thought about using a more hydrating primer than that, but it's just a primer I've been using a lot lately, and I think a hydrating foundation doesn't really need a hydrating primer, so I kind of wanted to see what it looked like by itself. I'm getting really decent coverage with this. I'm going to go through and add a little bit more coverage kind of around my jawline and chin area, and here, and maybe here. Everywhere. I had coverage everywhere. I can't help myself. Like I said in my Pat McGrath review, I don't like testing foundations with samples because I like to see what a pump is and how much a pump covers, but at the same time, I wasn't trying to buy a foundation that I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. Especially because I've tried to like the Fenty foundation so many different times and it has just never worked for me. I actually really like this. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a zoom and show you guys kind of what this looks like before I finish my face. It's glowy, my face looks plump, the coverage is great. Like I have discoloration and pimples on my chin, you can't really see them. Okay, so you can see the glow on my face. You can also kind of see that it doesn't really match my neck. It's a little dark, but at the same time, I feel like most people's necks are darker or lighter because your neck doesn't get sun. I'm getting, again, a little bit of settling in my fine lines on my forehead, but not too bad considering how it normally is. Overall, I think my skin looks really nice. So I'm gonna finish my face and I will come back once it's set and show you guys again and we can see how this plays with other makeup, but like so far, I'm not mad about it. Shit. Okay, so this is the finished look. My hair is a mess, so we just put her up in a little bandana to keep her out of the way today. But I'm kind of shook by this foundation. I said with the Macrame Skin Finish Natural, I didn't really do anything with my eyes and stuff today because I literally am working from home today. I just wanted to see if this was cute or not. So I gave my Sephora order. So I really like the way this looks. Like it's glowy, it's full coverage, I'm feeling it. I actually haven't even set it with a setting spray right now yet, and it doesn't look cakey or powdery at all. I am probably just gonna pop on some of my Morphe setting spray right now, just for shits and gigs. But I just wanted to show you guys what this looks like and that I love it. So this is what it looks like fully done. The only place I highlighted was here. The only place I concealed was right under my eyes and this blemish right here, but nowhere else did I put any concealer. And I usually put tons of concealer on my chin because that's just where I have discoloration. But like, I'm so glowy. I'm kind of here for it. So yeah, right now it is 11 o'clock in the morning. I don't have my phone in here, but my iPad's in here so I can see the time. So we'll call the check-in time 11. I want to see how this wears, but truthfully right now, I think this is a beautiful foundation. It is medium to full coverage. It is dewy as fuck. I can only imagine what this would look like with a hydrating primer underneath it. Right now, I'm really here for this foundation, and like going into this foundation review, I was pretty convinced I was going to end up spending $90 on the Pat McGrath foundation, but now I'm like, this foundation's gorgeous. Like, I'm obsessed. Hashtag not sponsored, just in love. So yeah, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. I will be back in 5 hours to do my first check-in. I'm just working from home today, so I won't be able to, like, you know, expose myself to the elements or anything, but I will be wearing it all day, and usually I find that's enough of a wear test for me personally. I'm really here for it. So if you want to see how this wears throughout the day on my dry ass skin, then keep watching. Okay, it is 3:59, close enough to 4. I feel like you guys can't even see that. It's 3:59, trust me. It's basically 4 p.m., which means this has been on for about 5 hours, and I love it. It's a little heavy around my mouth, but I think part of that is just that I put, when I was actually editing the clip of this right before I filmed this check-in, and I was like, Kaylee, you put way too much foundation on your face. Stop it. And again, I feel like because it's so glowy, kind of like the Pat McGrath, it kind of hides the fact that it looks a little bit heavy here, but yeah, it definitely looks a little bit heavy around my mouth area. But everywhere else, I'm looking at my mirror here, sorry. Everywhere else looks really nice. And like everything still looks fine. It looks beautiful, it's glowy. It's a little tacky to touch. I definitely think if you have oily skin, stay away from this, but obviously this is meant for more normal to dry, whereas the other foundation, the matte foundation, is meant for more combo to oily skin. I definitely went into this foundation review thinking I would hate this foundation because I really just like the original Fenty, and I just kind of thought like maybe Fenty skin, it just isn't for me because I also didn't really like the concealer, but I love this, and maybe more than the Pat McGrath. It's still only been 5 hours, but the way I look at it is this. The Pat McGrath is legitimately twice the price of this foundation, and this one is like not, like the Pat McGrath isn't twice as good as this foundation. So I actually love this. I love the coverage. I definitely think I need to go a little bit maybe less heavy-handed around my mouth, but other than that, I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and anyone with dry skin would love this foundation. I'm a little early on the love, but I can usually tell when I first apply a foundation if I'm going to like absolutely love it. And most of the time I'm kind of indifferent, but this one I absolutely love. I do think that maybe, did you just see a cat jump up the wall? Hello? My cats are mentally unstable and I apologize. I do think that maybe this, I'm not sure if it oxidized a little bit or just if it doesn't, it just looks dark. I sent a picture to my friend because I was like, wow, look at how glowy this is. I have no highlighter on except for right here. And she died a little bit and then said that it looked like a perfect match. My cat is mentally unstable. Tallulah Jean! If you could see her right now, she's hiding behind the curtain staring up at the ceiling. We're probably haunted and she's trying to save me from a ghost, but I'll never know. Anywho, let me give you a zoom. So you can, I'm not sure if you can see, it's a little heavy kind of in this area where like, I wouldn't even call it dryness. I more so just have like texture and like that's where, this is like my breakout area is along my chin and like the corners of my mouth. It's a little heavy on my upper lip, but like everywhere else, I think it's like gorgeous. And I also think to note that no one looks at your face this close in real life. I cannot. So yeah, 5 hours in, this is absolutely beautiful and I'm super excited about it. I also thought I should mention that I did the shade match on Sephora to see what shade they would recommend me that is similar to Too Faced Born This Way in Snow and NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in Mont Blanc, which as you can see aren't even that similar of shades, but they're both like probably my best shade matches, and they matched me with Fenty Beauty 110, which is so white. So I just thought you should know to not trust the shade match very well. Okay, Kayla from the future is here trying to film this. It's not fucking easy. So I just wanted to film some swatches so you guys can see kind of how these compare to each other. The first one closest to my wrist is Too Faced Born This Way in Snow. Then we've got NARS Pro Longwear Luminous, whatever the hell it's called, foundation in Mont Blanc. Then the third shade is Pat McGrath Light 6. There's a cat playing with a mouse under me. And the last shade is the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Foundation in the shade 6. I'm trying to get this in natural light, but it's just like, if I go 2 in the light, you can't see it, but like a little bit out of the light is like, here, is that better? It's really hard to do this with my other hand. So yeah, it's Too Faced, then NARS, then Pat McGrath, then Fenty Beauty. So yeah, I love this. It's 5 hours in. Let's see what happens at 10 hours, I guess. Pray for me. I hope this works. I hope this looks beautiful all day because I'm living for it. We're back and it's 8:42 p.m. I'm calling it because I'm tired and I'm getting a migraine and I want to go to bed. I like this foundation. It's gotten cakier kind of around my mouth area. It settled into my like chin crevice. But like it's still glowy and dewy. I definitely think if you have oily skin, stay away from this foundation, but overall I'm loving it. Like I do kind of like the Pat McGrath slightly more, but I like the coverage on this more. And that's important to me because I feel like with this one, it's almost a little bit too glowy. Like I think right now also because it's summer, this foundation's a little glowy. I would probably have to set it a little bit more, but I think like in the like super dry winter months, this would be an amazing foundation for people with dry skin because it is so glowy and dewy. and it will put it is a hydrating foundation. It will put that moisture back into your skin. Let me give you one last zoom. So you can see, I mean, I'm still glowy and dewy, a little cakey around here and in this area around here, but like the rest of my face looks fine. Forehead looks fine. Between my brows is a little funky, but like that's normal. I did forget I was wearing makeup at one point today and rubbed my eyes, and so my like concealer under here is basically gone. My life. But other than that, I think it's an absolutely beautiful foundation. So yeah, that is my review of the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Foundation. I definitely think it is, if you hated the Pro Filter Soft Matte Foundation and just could not get it to work because it was so dry and matte, this foundation is a complete 180. There's cats pulling my curtains back. She's laying on the floor just holding the curtain back. I cannot make this up. Can you see her? Hold on. Let's see. You see that cat down there? I have no words. So yeah, if you hated the original Fenty, I would definitely recommend this. It's a completely different foundation. It's so beautiful, so dewy. If you love a dewy foundation, you will love this. If you are oily, stay away. If you have dry skin, I think this will be a beautiful foundation. I think it's the perfect amount of dewy. I don't think it's too dewy. There are some foundations like the Natasha Denona, I don't even remember what it's called, foundation that it's like the skin tint or something. It's the one in like the pink tube. I think it's so dewy, it looks oily. This is like almost on that verge, but not even close. I just think it's so beautiful. Can I say beautiful one more time? So that is my review. Let me know down below what you guys think, or if you've tried this foundation. Let me know down below if you think I'm gonna buy this foundation or the Pat McGrath foundation at the sale. I'm not gonna tell you, but you're gonna have to find out because my haul will be coming up. So thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.